Welcome to Team Talk. I'm Craig Zimmerman, and today we are with the St. Clair girls softball team. Welcome, softball team, to Libby Cody.
Yep.
As well as Gracie Picklehop, Haley McFarland, and Madison Treat. I got them all.
Yep. Got it right.
Welcome. We're here to talk about this past season, which just got over with about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago. Tell us about Saints softball.
All right. Yeah, we had a great season. Really cold and rainy this year, so that was a little bit different. We kind of had to battle the elements a lot, but we got all the games in the end and ended up winning the MAC White, so that was a great accomplishment for us. The MAC White was pretty strong this year with the addition of Frazier. They joined the MAC White, and they're a strong program too, so we battled a couple tough opponents to win the MAC White.
So tell us who was in your MAC White, and I only ask that because for our viewers, this stuff changes year to year and sport to sport, and basketball, you're in a different league, you know, that type of stuff.
So Frazier, Marysville, Utica, L'Anse Creuse North, those are the biggest competitors.
Okay.
And then Lakeview and
I think that's it.
I feel like I'm missing
West
one.
Ford.
Okay.
No.
Romeo?
No, not Ford. Nope, Romeo's
Okay.
red. There's one more. But
Okay, somewhere in there.
those are our biggest competitors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you play on turf much this year?
Well, I scheduled our early games at schools that had turf, so we
Yeah.
were able to get those in that first week. So Romeo and Grosse Pointe North. And then we tried to get Armada in, I think, early, but that didn't work out.
Does Armada have turf on softball
They
now?
have turf now,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So tell me about that. I have not.
Romeo. Did I say Romeo?
Romeo does, yeah. Tell me about that from the standpoint of playing on turf. Obviously, I would say early spring, that's a big help just to get the games in, right? No mud.
Yeah, I'll let the girls talk about what's it like turf versus.
I mean, you definitely have to read ground balls differently. It's a lot more bouncy, and it comes quicker, but I like playing on turf personally.
A little more predictable, I would assume.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
For me as a pitcher, I feel like I'm kind of flying when I'm on turf rather than dirt.
And sliding too, base running.
Oh yeah, you have to like slide earlier,
Earlier?
or you'll go by the base.
Okay. Is it generally like the football stadium where it's rubber based?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Similar.
Yep.
So a little bit of bounce to it when you're sliding even?
Yeah, a little bit.
You get home, you got all the little black little...
Yeah, always get
Throw
on
on
my
my
shoes.
shoe.
Right.
Yeah.
So your bag's got black stuff
Yup.
all over, your car's got it all over it,
Yeah.
and mom yells when you get home to
Yeah.
take your shoes off before you come in the house.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't have the green like shreds that you get on your shoes at the football stadium.
Right.
Because that would get all over the ball. So it's a little different, but it's general concept is the
Okay.
same.
Okay.
And
So
it's
we-
very hot.
Yeah,
In the postseason, turf fields get really hot.
Yeah.
this
I'd
time
say
of year.
like another 10 degrees, yeah.
Okay. So, tell me about your season. Who is the main competition in the white division?
Marysville is always our
Yeah.
top
Yeah.
competition. We went 11-1 in the league, and Marysville's who we split with.
And what did they finish at? A game?
8-4.
Okay.
Yeah, something.
So some of those teams kind of beat up on each other, and we were able to get most of them. So
Okay. Now, in league play, do you play everybody twice?
yes,
Okay. So you lost one game in your conference to Marysville. You beat them the second time?
beat them the first time,
Oh, okay.
lost to them the second
Okay.
time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And tell me about your year that just went on, your junior year.
I think it went really good. Even though we didn't end how we wanted to, I think we did really good this whole season, especially with how many seniors we lost. Like, girls just filled the holes so easily.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we had a great season. Winning the league was like a big part because the year before we had made it to regionals, but this year we won the league, so that was like a big thing for us, even though we didn't move on in the postseason.
Sure. Well, the difficult thing, we started talking before the camera went on, and it's been an age-old issue, not just in softball, but other sports too, is you can have a great year, but sometimes when you've got a crosstown rivalry, whether it's an Algonac, a Marine City, a St. Clair, a Marysville, sometimes it's one of those things like, we got to play them again, you know? And, and
Yep.
the fact is that you look at, say, maybe your program in Marysville, in some sense, it's almost like looking in the mirror sometimes, right? And you go, it's too bad that we aren't in different regions, because then we could meet maybe in a region or a semi, because you know, and you know, you don't like to and you don't try to, but I know that sometimes you may look at MHSA and you look and you go, are you kidding me? That team over there is playing those 2 games, and they're going to face, way less competition than I am here.
Right.
But that's just the way it is.
Right.
And I think for our viewers, the position on that, because it's been heavily discussed at different things, but it's all because of seating and travel.
Right.
They don't want to have a team, say, going from St. Clair, Michigan to Lansing to open up a district or to Grand Rapids, that type of thing. And then you've got teams that are in the UP coming down. So that's part of the issue.
Right.
But seating would be nice sometimes for that.
Yeah. I think they kind of got, I'm guessing here, I don't know, but I think they kind of took another look at it after last year, because last year our district was Marine City, St. Clair, Marysville, Richmond, and Armada, and those are, 5 local powerhouses,
big time.
and we were all in the same district. So they did split that up for whatever reason, and Armada and Richmond went another direction, and Marine City moved down to Division III, and then us and Marysville were still together. But so they did kind of break it up a little bit.
Right. And the tough thing too is that in some sports you're a different division than you are in other sports because of population, and there's only 4 divisions in softball and baseball, where in football there's 8, and all those different things.
Yep.
So what positions are you ladies playing? We got the pitcher down.
I'm a catcher.
Catcher?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me ask the catcher, you call your own pitches, or are you getting it all from her?
This year, it was mainly Coach Libby and Coach Ken who were calling the pitches, and if I feel like there was a need to call off a pitch because I didn't agree with it, then I would call it off and call a new pitch.
Okay. So when you're calling pitches, is there 3 pitches from a pitcher? Or is there 4 pitches? Tell me what kind of pitches
There's
you
like
have.
5 or 6,
Okay.
right? Yeah. So, I mean, I have a fastball, changeup, drop, curve, screw, and a rise.
Oh.
So 6, yeah.
Time out. Let's talk about this. So fastball, changeup are pretty simple.
Yep.
Fastball is as fast as you can pitch it. Changeup is as slow as you. Is it as slow as you can go?
That's the off-speed pitch, yep.
Okay. Riser.
So a rise ball is definitely my work in progress.
Okay.
But yes, that one comes in and takes a tail. Yeah.
And then the drop.
Yep. Drop ball.
Okay. What's a screwball do?
A screwball is an inside pitch, and that screws. So you know how a screw looks like this, and it comes in on the inside and screws.
It's going to curve in on a right-handed batter.
Yep.
Curve goes out
Curves
on a
and
right-handed
outside.
batter.
Can you, as a pitcher, throw them both ways then?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you have both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, not to get any trade secrets, but is it in the way you're gripping it or the way that you're...
Release point and like my hands, I have the same grip for both.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely release for me.
Okay. Now, from a catcher perspective, even if you didn't give her a signal, if she was just trying to mess with you, could you tell what she's throwing by looking, watching?
I can usually tell by what grip she has
Okay.
and what pitch she's throwing.
And then the other thing is that, people go to a softball game, there is, I would say, almost no thought about that from the fans' perspective. They're just there to watch, and they don't know the mechanics of it. But, so, I know football has huddle. Is there any taping of games that you watch?
We use Game Changer.
Okay.
It's not connected quite like Huddle where they share and you can, but if a team has their video open, you could watch their video.
Okay.
But you can use Game Changer with or without video. Travel ball, high school, everybody uses
Now,
Game Changer or something.
can you as a team, put together a plan if you're going to say play Fraser next Monday? Do you get a pregame plan at all on their batters?
I mean, we get familiar with their batters, especially their top couple, partly through travel ball.
Okay, because they know
these
each
girls
other.
have played against each other for a long time, so some of that comes from the girls themselves.
Just knowing them.
They know,
Okay.
But we do try to pay attention to that. But I mean, the Game Changer cameras are typically up on the fence.
Yep.
And so, I mean, we're not pouring through thousands of hours of film.
Right.
But yeah, we try and pay attention to that, know what to pitch, and that's where Maddie comes in. If she notices something, if the batter's off the plate or tight on the plate or whatever, she'll give feedback to Coach Ken, and he'll, consider that with what he's calling for the pitch and stuff. So.
Now, I know Richmond has, history-wise, had a lot of slap bunters. Do they still have some slap bunters?
They do, quite a few.
So you're probably pitching a little different to slap bunters, slap hitters, because they're going to, they've got I never really characterize it, but they've got almost a step on you when they're coming out, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And generally speaking, slap hitters are going to be a left-handed batter, right?
Yes,
They're-
most
yeah.
of the time.
So they want to be down the line.
Yeah.
Is there, from a perspective of pitching, are you trying to get it away?
I mean, I would rather jam them, I think, and
Okay.
have it inside because they're already reaching for it.
Okay.
So outside, I think they'd get a hold of it.
So
quicker.
characteristically, do you know in your head, or you just, the two of you are talking to say slap? Or what do you call, knowing if somebody's coming up and going to likely slap? What do you say to each other?
So usually that's where I would come in because I watch where the batter stands in the batter's box and how close or far away or how up or how back she is in the batter's box. Typically with a left-handed batter who's a slapper, she'll be up close onto the plate and back in the box. So usually I'll know and I'll be like, hey, watch slap, watch bunt.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
we
you'd
hear from
rather
our
go-
defense.
And you'd rather go inside?
I think so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
You're helping them a lot by giving them an outside pitch because they're trying to take it opposite field, and that's what you're supposed to do with outside pitches.
Okay.
So.
And there's a lot of stuff like that goes unnoticed and unknown to the fans watching.
Right.
So I find that interesting just because, some people even they're a bunch of slap bunters, right?
Right.
I mean, right?
Right.
Almost as if it's illegal.
Right.
But it is. I mean, I was never necessarily a fan of it, but it is pretty cool part of the game.
It's a great facet of the game. I mean, every athlete has to use their strengths.
Right.
And if you're fast and, maybe not as much of a power hitter, why not use what you can,
Right. I mean, a single's a single.
Right.
Or moving somebody from second to third,
Right.
whatever it might be.
Right.
Any slap hitters on your team?
We've got a couple, not as many as Richmond certainly, but we've had Liliana Martin was a lefty slapper. Katie Badger was a left-handed hitter also, but she hit usually for power and not a slapper as much. But we'll have a couple more coming up through the program soon, I think.
Okay. And so this summer we're going to play a little summer softball. And where is that going to take you in the farthest reaches? You going out of state for any games? Tell us where.
We'll probably be down in Tennessee is our furthest this year. Because last year we did the Colorado, but I don't think we're going to do that again this year.
Okay. And the funny thing about it is, so let's say, how many girls are on the team? 12?
We had 11 on varsity
11?
and 12 on JV this
Okay.
year.
So out of those, so you got, 23 roughly. How many are playing summer ball? All of
The
them?
vast majority.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many of those are on the same team? Probably not many?
You get a couple here and there.
Yeah.
3, maybe probably 3 to 4 at the most, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah.
You girls ever play together in the summer?
Yeah.
I mean, when we were younger, all the St. Clair
Okay.
girls played
All of us,
together,
yeah.
but then we kind of went our separate ways when we got
Yeah.
older.
Okay. It seems like that is more common than not
Yeah.
today versus
Right.
years ago.
We try and keep them together at least through Little League. Like through 12U is kind of
Yeah.
the goal. And I think there's been a lot of success with that. And then letting them go spread their wings somewhere else and then kind of come back all together for high school.
Okay.
It's neat to see how much they've grown,
Right.
from where they were when they were young.
Okay. Any personal accomplishments you'd like to tell our viewers of what happened during the year as far as
Well, our banquet's tonight.
Okay.
So they don't know all the awards that they're getting yet.
Okay.
So that is going to be shared very soon.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of girls got accolades as they deserve this year, and
Good.
it's very exciting. So.
And then they vote on some themselves, right?
They vote on captains
Okay.
at the beginning of the year, and then they don't vote on team awards
Okay.
at the end. We haven't
Okay.
done it that way yet, but
Okay.
Yeah.
We want to talk about any of your assistant coaches because you probably got some long-time ones.
Yeah, I have. Well, they've been with me 2 years now. So
Okay.
Ken Kern and Becky McFarland are the varsity assistants, and then Caitlin Click is the JV coach, and her assistant for the last 2 years is Anna McFarland.
Okay.
Anna Her.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're phenomenal. They bring a lot to our group. I feel like we balance each other out really well. So much knowledge between the 3 of us and then the 5 of us when we're all together. Just a lot of experience and different
Okay.
perspectives.
Let's talk a little bit about softball, the game of softball, and how much planning and time that goes into it. Because a lot of that's another thing that people don't understand of how much time. So we're talking, it's the middle of June, and you're just finished up with your season the first week of June or so. You're going to go into travel ball already. Have you played some travel ball?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I
you
start my tournament tomorrow.
Okay, there you go. So then you're going to go in, now. Let me step back and ask: do you ladies play any other sports?
I do basketball.
Basketball.
I don't.
Okay.
Just softball.
I also do basketball.
So we talked about this yesterday with some of the baseball coaches. It's, I think, gotten increasingly harder to play 3 sports because of all the dedication that goes into these sports. So we're talking middle of June. You're going to play softball somewhere on the road from now till August, right? Pretty much. And I can remember the last tournaments in August, and I don't know how you feel about it being 15, 16, 17 years old, but by the time August comes around, you're about ready to have it over, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just saying. 'Cause
Well, and it's kind of shifted because really the summer season ends mid-July,
Yeah.
Right.
maybe late July. You kind of get August off a little bit, and then fall
Right.
softball starts
Start-
up again.
Right.
So that's with your new team. You know, your next team is
Right.
typically, starting right away in September.
Some fall ball is happening. You're playing some fall ball. Then, now, is there training that you do have participation during the, say, school year after school? Or?
Yep, we do the weight room a couple times a week. We've done some yoga in the past. And then we do 4-person workouts, usually after the new year because they're already doing fall ball,
Sure.
summer, softball skills. And so the weight room starts early to mid-fall. And we had a really good turnout this last year with our really a good group of freshmen that have been dedicated in the weight room, led by some of the upperclassmen as well. And so I look forward to continuing to grow that aspect of it, getting the girls to learn that their strength is important and taking care of their bodies. So.
Sure. And then you go basketball season, and then basketball season's what? February into March Madness time.
Yeah, it usually starts at the end of November and then goes to March.
Right.
It's a really long season.
And
It is
then-
a very long season.
And then you're probably doing double duty. You're probably training some for softball, but doing basketball.
Yeah.
And then as soon as basketball is over, boom, softball.
Yeah.
And it's 32
Right.
degrees, 36 degrees, right? I mean,
Yeah.
this year was.
Yeah.
But you're probably in the gym playing too because you need to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got to be darn near a year-round thing. So a lot of dedication to it.
Very much.
And so the funny thing about it is people think that, the pitcher puts in a lot of time, but
Yeah.
the others don't. Well, the others do too.
They do, and they have hitting coaches. They have their travel teams that they're going to practices for. Some of them do like glove leagues or throwing leagues. All different hitting leagues and things that exist out there that girls are putting time into. So.
Now, where do you do training like batting practice besides the gym? Do you have another facility?
No, we pretty much use the high school and the auxiliary gym. We've had to use the middle school this year because the high school old gym was
Under construction.
under construction. So that was a little challenging at times, having to play all that by ear when it suddenly starts raining or whatever. But no, we pretty much use the school facilities.
Okay. Now, when you're doing batting practice, is it live pitching or is it a pitching machine?
A combination of things: front toss, pitching machine. Sometimes we get our own pitchers in there live, but not as often.
And a pitching machine cannot really get what she's going to bring to the table.
No.
Right.
No, not quite.
Right.
It's hard to replicate, but
Yeah.
do the best we can.
Okay. Now you're a pitcher on varsity.
Yep.
Is there a second, third pitcher on the team?
Gracie,
Okay.
great. It's like 1A and 1B.
Okay.
They're both phenomenal pitchers. and both bring their different strengths with their different pitches. And Gracie's a phenomenal outfielder as well, so it's
Right.
like,
Hate
oh
to
man.
take her out of the outfield.
Right, so it's kind
Yeah.
of, have to be very strategic sometimes. So, but when she's in the circle, she does great. And then Liliana Martin has also pitched in her career. This year during the season, she didn't pitch as much. She was also a fielder, second baseman. So, but we have quite a few pitchers in the program coming through. So. That'll be nice.
There's something that I've had over the years that I've watched a lot of softball, a lot of baseball, and I've told, there are still some people, believe it or not, that have not been to a girls' softball game, and I say, you've got to go see them because it's a much faster game.
Right.
Bunting tends to be more of a, art and used more often. Moving a batter or a base runner from first to second, second to third, get him in hitting, single scores a run.
Right.
It's not that long base path.
Right.
So you two especially, well, all three of you, with you being a pitcher as well, that short base path can be your best friend or your enemy if you're the,
Right.
fielder.
Right.
Yeah.
Any fundraising going on that we need to talk about or anything like that?
Yeah, we are looking for sponsors and people ready to contribute to our program. We've got a lot of facility updates that we need to do. We have started on a few things, but we want to really get the facilities to a level that the girls deserve, because they're lacking a little bit. So, we're looking for sponsors, and we'd love to talk about what would work for their company or their donation size and how they could benefit our program. We want to get a batting cage. We don't have one. Storage shed.
Sure.
We really need to kind of rework a
But
lot of
grow
the
up a
parts
lot.
of the field. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah.
We look forward to seeing you on the field, and good luck and have a good summer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good one. That's Team Talk.